Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam class. So we are on verse number 4. Before we start, let us recite the Mangalacharan prayers. Let me share my screen. Second. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Okay. So let us, while we are still screen sharing, let us recite the first 4 verses of Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam, because they are the ones to be memorized. First 3 are to be memorized, but we will do the 4th one because we are on the 4th one. Okay, so we will do it in lead follow. So if you would like to unmute your audio, you can do that. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam.
Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam.
Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam.
Jihva vegam udarapastha vegam.
Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha.
Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha.
Sarvam api mam prithvim sashishyat.
Sarvam api mam prithvim sashishyat.
Atyaharah prayasascha.
Achyāharah prayasascha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Prajalpo niyamagraha.
Janasanghascha laulyam cha.
Janasanghascha laulyam cha.
Shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Tadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Utsahan nischayat dhairyat.
Utsahan nischayat dharyat.
Tat karma pravartanat.
Tat karma pravartanat.
Sangatyagat sato vritte.
Sangatyagat tato vritte.
Sadbhir bhakti prasidhyati.
Tadbhir bhakti
Prasidhyati.
Dadati pratigrahanati.
dadati pratigrahanati.
Guhyam akhyati pṛcchati.
Guhyam akhyati pṛcchati.
Bhuṅkte bhojayate chaiva.
Bhuṅkte bhojayate chaiva.
Chadvidham Priti Lakshanam.
Tadvidam Priti Lakshanam.
Very nice. So this is the verse we are on. Dadati Pratigrahnati. That is the general principle of giving and taking objects of love which express love between devotees. So, and two specific items are mentioned in that. Guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati. So give and take of things that are on your mind, things that are close to your heart, and bhuṅkte, bhojayate, and prasadam. Okay, so we will discuss these two, bhuṅkte, bhojayate, and guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati today. And then if time permits, we will start the 5th verse as well. So let me start sharing this. Okay. You all can see the screen, I believe. On Zoom, yes? Okay, thanks.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Great. So we are in Upadeśāmṛtam, Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam by Srila Rupa Goswami, which is translated in English with wonderful commentaries by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And further, a very wonderful description and deep analysis of the verses is being done by His Grace Hariparshad Prabhuji. We had the fortune of associating with him last month here. So very detailed analysis, study, and with lot more scriptural references are being shared by him. All of his classes are on YouTube at that link. And he also does it on Zoom. So if you would like to attend on Zoom, you can let me know. I can, get you added to the Zoom calls as well. So it's very, that way you can, ask questions also. Like he says, there are 5 aspects of study. 4 aspects can be done from the book. 5th aspect is asking questions. That cannot be done from a book or a YouTube video. So something for you to consider. Okay, so verse number 4. Sec. So 6 exchanges of love between close devotees. So this whole verse number 4 is pertaining to devotees, first of all, and that too between close devotees, very close friends among devotees. There are, lots of devotees, but every devotee, we all agree, is not a very close friend. So this verse is specifically referring to that. The next verse will refer to how we should behave or how we should interact with all devotees. So that will be the 5th verse. So this verse is specifically of that nature. And how to associate the, Jan Sangha or Bhaktir Vinashyati or Sangatyagat Bhaktir Prasidhyati, we discussed in the previous 2 verses, were about giving up materialistic bad association. This verse is talking specifically about developing close relationship, friendship with devotees. Okay. So we discussed a lot of topics last time, so I'm not going to go over all of them. Who is a close devotee? Some, relationship begins with a little bit of formality where you, see what are the common interests. Does the chemistry match? How is the, behavior towards each other? And there could be some common things, maybe the children are of the same age. Maybe you are living in the same neighborhood. So many things can be there. And later on, the friendship grows much deeper. And one of the very important tests of a good friendship is that when time flies in association of each other, when you don't realize how much time is gone. Okay. So we discussed don't rush into closeness, initially formal. Once priti This is Priti Lakshanam. So once Priti develops, then there is no formality. Do's and don'ts, some of the things that we discussed about, something you should be very careful. We'll talk a little bit more about this today. It is very easy. It takes years to develop a good friendship. And by our foolishness, sometimes it is broken in seconds. And we discussed, like, for example, you somehow, you get angry, or in public, you insult them or something like that, some out of impulse, and then you regret for the rest of your life. So sometimes it is possible to mend it. Sometimes it takes long time to mend it, and sometimes it never mends. So we must be very, very careful with, we should treat these close friendships like, a very delicate piece of jewelry, which we cherish very much. If we mistreat it, it will break. And a very, very important aspect is reciprocation. Give more than you receive. Always give. That is a key aspect of friendship. Okay. If first you need to be a good friend before you expect anybody else. That's how we should all treat ourselves. I want to be a good friend, not like I want a good friend. So friendship means, what can I do to be a friend? Full stop. Not about what he or she should do. Okay. Oh, we talked about dadati pratigrahanati as well. So reciprocation is a very important aspect. And when you give, don't expect it back. And this was very, very important point, that people generally don't give for fear of losing in this life. So they don't give. But those who give fear losing in the next life. So they give. But that shouldn't be the motivation to give, that I will get it back in the next life. But at least it is much better than, being miserly in this life. Give, and anything and everything that we give is an investment for our next life. And best kind of giving is to give to a devotee friend. So give without asking. If you are such a close friend, this verse is about a close friend. How are you close if you don't understand what he wants? You should know what he wants. Sometimes we know what he wants, still we think, jab puchega, when he asks, we will give. That is, then you are taking a lower step. You are taking a lower standard. If you know he wants, give. And of course, it's not like you spend $10,000 and then when you take it to him, he says, no, I don't want, or I already got it, or something like that. But give in the sense, at least ask. I'm going to get it for you, just wanting to make sure you don't have it, or you will use it, or something like that. Ask at least, but don't take no for an answer at that point. Okay, so give happily, give with joy. And if you cannot give, at least give sweet words and good wishes. That is free of cost. You may not have $10,000 worth of gift, but sweet words and best wishes are anybody and everybody, even the poorest man, can give. And if possible, you cannot give money, give some service, give some seva, do something with your hands. Okay. Okay. And we discussed about receiving also, that receiving is also very important. Many people just want to give, but let the other person also have the pleasure of giving. To let him or her have the pleasure of giving, you need to be the receiver. So receiving is also important. Many people forget this. And some people who are habitual receivers, we know them. Then they cannot be good friends. But many good friends are not good receivers. Many of you would have seen that in your cases. They will always keep saying no, but they will always keep saying, please take, with a lot of love. But also understand that the other person also wants to give. So, give them a chance. All right. So this was a quick review of what we did till last time. So today we will discuss guhyam, akhyati, prcchati. Hare Krishna. Mataji is also here. Okay. Okay, guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati. So this is the topic of today. And bhuṅkte, bhojayate, chaiva. So what is guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati? So I have put some questions today for some little bit of interactive discussion on Zoom. Please raise your hand if you want to speak. That makes it a little more easy for me to kind of organize it here between the room and Zoom. We have few devotees here. So what is guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati? It is give and take of confidential topics, not anything material or anything like which you can hold in your hand, touch and feel, but it is confidential topics. And for devotees, this whole discussion that we are having again is for devotees. This is Sri Rupa Goswami's Upadeśāmṛtam. First 4 verses apply to, in general, for people to become good persons, to become good human beings. But our context is becoming good devotees. That is why in the 2nd and 3rd verse, Sri Rupa Goswami says, Shadbhir Bhakti Vinashyati. So Bhakti is there, or Shadbhir Bhakti Prasidhyati, or Bhakti is enhanced. So Bhakti is there in that. That is what Rupa Goswami is only concerned about. He has not written this Shastra for normal people, even though if they want, they can use it. So for devotees, best to have such talk with devotees. So otherwise, what happens? Why cannot a devotee have this talk with someone else? Guhyam, akhyati, pṛcchati. First question for today.
Talk about confidential topics to materialists, first of all, they may not get the right feedback.
Okay, so first point is, so one point. First point is they may not get the right kind of feedback. Very, very good. If you are sharing something confidential, it is something of importance. We discussed this in Bhagavad Gita also. That 9th chapter is called Guhyatamam, most confidential, but it is also Rajavidya. It is the topmost. So more confidential means more important. We see that in our case also, top secret. When top secret means very important. So if you're discussing important things with them, then any kind of response you will get will be of materialistic flavor. It could, that's not the kind of thing you want, or you should want. That's not the kind of thing. What else? Any other reason? Yes, Ramakant Prabhu.
Will not feel the essence of the discussion and might ignore the best part of the what is to be delivered or to be wanted to be react.
Okay.
They will not be able to point of essence.
Okay, so they may not know what you're saying is they may not know the deep Shastric topic, so they will not be able to give us proper advice. Very nice. Yes, Ananya Mataji.
So, yeah, the devotees, they know how to reciprocate with the other devotees, which the other people may not be knowing. As Prabhu said, the importance and everything. How to properly reciprocate.
Okay, very nice. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mataji, Hare Krishna. So we have our fortune of having Jai Sachinandan Prabhu, Bhakti Ras Mataji here. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, please continue the class. Neither do I. With your permission, I will, and Mataji's permission, we will continue. Okay. So I'll attempt to continue in the presence of very, very senior devotees here. So another point, there is one more point.
The common goal will not be served.
You're, oh, achha, okay. She's raising the hand. I'm like, you're raising the hand on Zoom. Yes, Mataji. Are you raising? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I think talking to devotee, first of all, he can give us a right feedback. And if he's not aware of a good answer for that, or then at least he can redirect us to other devotee who might help us in that direction.
Okay. Okay. So that is the converse of what the question is, that why should we not take or confide confidential topics in materialistic people? Yes, one more.
So
Here in the room.
The objective of all these things is to nourish our bhakti, right? When you do it with materialistic people, the effect may be the opposite. They could cast doubts or mock your confidentiality, and that could actually be detrimental to nourishment.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice point. So I think we are going in the right direction. So in interest of making progress, one of the aspects of guhyam, akhyati, prcchati is to not the it's not the goal, but it automatically develops closeness. When you share your heart with somebody, they also have a tendency to share, and this exchange is automatically, it leads to a closeness in the relationship. You don't want a close relationship with materialistic people. Yes, first of all, about that specific topic, the content of the topic, yes, they may not be able to give proper advice. On the contrary, they will give wrong advice. But also it develops closeness in the relationship, which also is detrimental. Then you'll become close to such people. They may be very good people, but your mentality will become it will rub off on you. Okay, I can share one thing about my life. When I was selected for engineering, one very close friend, so I was getting electrical engineering branch. So I said, hey, why you're going in electrical engineering? You should take civil engineering. A lot of money is there, a lot of underhand money. What you can earn in 30 years in your life, you can earn in 5 years. So he was and he is himself in or whatever, but so I said, thank you very much, and very genuine advice, thank you, but it is coming from a very materialistic standpoint. So very well intended advice, but may not be good for our spiritual growth. Okay, so that is the point. We actually covered this point. Materialists, and includes materialists disguised as devotees. So when it is said, best to have such talk with devotees, it means devotees by quality, not by just external appearance. So they will look out for themselves. Maybe also that's another point. When they are giving advice, they will be thinking, what's in it for me? How can I benefit? He's sharing his heart. How can I benefit from it? So that's also, and the second thing is, even if they give good intended advice, it will be of materialistic nature, not good for spiritual growth. So people with manipulative mindset, duplicity, any kind of political agenda. Politics doesn't just mean Republican, Democratic. In office also there is politics. We know politics is that kind of politics I'm saying. Say something here, say something there, say something here, or any kind of self-promotion attitude. And especially one should not do confidential talks about one's bhajan with such materialistic people. First of all, they cannot give advice about our bhajan. And the second point is, our bhajan is the most important thing that we have in our life, more than our money, our health, our family, our friends. What we should what we should hold dearest to our heart is our bhajan. Bhajan means our bhakti, our process of bhakti is bhajan. That should be our closest treasure that we should hang on to. And we should not let anybody undesirable do anything with it, intentionally or unintentionally, because that is the most sensitive, most delicate possession that we have, and the most important, and it can very easily get disturbed. So we should keep it very, very, like newborn baby. You wouldn't give him in anybody's hand. you keep him in like complete wraps, when he grows up and he's like, yeah, then you can punch and whatever. But absolutely 2-day born old baby is very delicate and very close to, it's a very, it's your treasure. You don't let anybody, you have to wash your hands, you have to properly hold, you have to do this and, hold the neck and so many things, I'm, even though I have 2 children, I have handled them. I'm scared to handle very small babies, because if anything happens, then it's not good. So like that, we have to treat our bhajan very, very delicate. Okay, next point. So we'll transition into another topic, not topic, but another theme, which is trust and confidentiality in a close relationship is very, very important. And like we said, this trust takes a lot of time to build. So take your time. Of course, we all know it takes time to earn someone's trust. We know that. But many times we give trust very easily. That should not also be the case. So take the time to build the trust. Start with small amount of trust and test. Let the relationship grow. Don't artificially make it ripe before time. And don't try to accelerate it either. Okay, so let it grow, and that is what will cause a long-lasting, healthy relationship which will sustain and maintain. And even if some accidental impacts happen, it will have less chance of getting destroyed. One would understand that, okay, accidentally happened. So let it grow over time and receive trust very, very responsibly. If you are receiving somebody's trust, you give some trust, they are holding it nicely, then they give you something confidential. Hold it very, very carefully. Don't treat it lightly. Oh, he will understand. Oh, nothing happens. It's okay. He will, let me tell my other friends. No, if he comes to know, and if that maybe you may think it is not serious, but for that other person, it may be something very serious, very close to their heart they have shared. Don't assume anything about it. You may not know how they have shared, how important it is for them. So treat anything that is confidentially shared by a friend very, very, very in a very sensitive way. So receive trust in a very responsible way. Best friends take secrets to the grave. Okay, so very, very important point. And of course, this does not include criminal activities. Otherwise, it makes you accomplice in the crime, in the sinful, and you will get the sinful reaction. Now, again, then the next question comes, how do you differentiate something harmless, or what's the borderline versus criminal? So that's a different topic. So we cannot cover all of that, but you should know what is a criminal activity, what to report or what to speak up about, and what to keep confidential about a friend. There are some things we will discuss, like right now we will discuss. So it is said, very nice sort of a verse from the Garuda Purana. GP stands for Garuda Purana, the best kind of secret. Shad karnad bhidyate mantraha chatuh karnascha dharyate. So what does it mean? So mantra means something secret. Okay. Shad means what? 6. Karna means what? Ear. Bhidyate mantra. Bhidyate means it gets destroyed. So if a mantra reaches 6 ears, it gets destroyed. Chatur karnas. In 4, chatur means 4 karnas, cha dharyate. It stays. So what does it mean? Yes, 2 people. 4 years does not mean 4 people. 4 years means 2 people. But if it reaches 3 people, then there is a possibility of it getting let out. So the point being here that also don't share your very confidential topics in a group. If you have to, share it with a very close friend one-on-one. And when you receive it responsibly. Take it to your grave. Don't give it to the next pair of ears. So what are some kind of things? Just to give some examples. So if somebody says, I have murdered someone or something like that, so that's obviously criminal. I'm taking the sort of the literally the end of the spectrum. Okay. So, but what kind of things should you keep in your heart? And typically these are things which are obviously harmless, but they are also showing some kind of vulnerability or some kind of shortcomings that somebody is sharing, your friend is sharing with you, is typically some problem he is facing in his or her life and is a shortcoming. And if somebody else comes to know, he could be, it would not be nice for him or her. So what are some examples that come to your mind like that? If you have some good friends, they would have shared such things with you, and these are not some things to be passed on to others, and they are not criminal activities either. Rather, they are their shortcomings, their vulnerabilities. Very nice. Critical health conditions. Yes, Shamlila Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, some issues at home with family members or significant others.
Very good. So some family issues, every family has, some issues going on. Some may be big, some may be small, but not everything is for public display. So sometimes we share with, very close people, and nobody would like, it's not like they would be in trouble if it is shared outside, but it's not nice. It's just embarrassing, and it's just not nice. Financial problems, let's say. Yes, somebody else was saying something here.
Somebody's having a problem with calling for relatives.
Very important. Yes, this is the one I was hoping. Somebody is having some problem, let's say, following the vows that they have taken, that in their devotional life, then they are sharing that, maybe I'm not able to do my chanting fully every day, or I'm doing it like in a half sleeping stage, and not, when you take a vow, you say I will do attentively, and you are doing it in a poor quality or not able to do. And some people, I have had this situation, 100 round backlog. So, then one time I was traveling to India. I said, okay, I'll catch up on my 100 remaining rounds, like Haridas Thakur. So, like that. Ramakant Prabhu? You are muted.
Actually, we are discussing in this verse about the friendship with the devotees. So where it comes that criminal activity is to be discussed. So I don't think the devotees would have might be in the past, but in present circumstances, if a devotee is there, we don't expect any criminal activity from him.
Well, you never know.
Friendship.
You never know. And the second aspect is that it may be accidental. It is still criminal. Okay. And it could be in the past also. So a criminal offense, as per legal laws, is not excusable if it happened 25 years ago. If somebody committed a murder 25 years ago, just because 25 years have passed, doesn't mean that it is suddenly,
absolved.
excusable. So there could be many scenarios. You are right. Between devotees, it generally shouldn't happen. But I wanted to put that statement there because it's a very important point that, oh, I'm a friend. I know he did something bad, but I heard in the class, Prabhuji said, so I will not share it with others. Then you are taking on the sinful reaction of that as well, if you do that in the karmic sense, and it is not correct from a legal standpoint either. So that is the point to be made. So there are other things also, like, maybe some issues with not just within family, with other devotees, or some problems in the job. Somebody got fired from a job, not just got laid off, but you did something and got fired for some wrongdoing, or you didn't show up for work, or you were being lazy, or whatever may be the shortcomings. So all these are good examples of some things we should keep in our heart. And we should not judge our friend upon knowing their secrets. Never judge. They are a friend. They are a friend for life. So no need to judge. Today they are in that situation. Tomorrow you could be, or I could be in that situation as well. And never even think, of course, don't judge taking advantage of that. Oh my God, never one should do that. So there should be no hidden agenda. To when one is receiving, one should just be a friend. Okay, otherwise once trust is lost, it is lost forever. Okay, accidentally if it happens, I didn't put any slide on that, fall at their feet and ask for forgiveness immediately, and explain your situation and immediately ask for forgiveness. Hopefully it will shorten the time it takes to rebuild. But never do it intentionally, otherwise that's not good. And this, I think we already discussed. Friendship, one should only share confidential matters with one who is genuinely interested in Krishna Bhajan. Such a person is most trustworthy. Let's just discuss a couple of more points. Why do you think that the most trustworthy person is one who is genuinely interested in Krishna Bhajan? Very nice. Exactly. So Mataji is saying that because there is no hidden agenda. They don't have any, not only hidden agenda, they don't have any other agenda. Their only agenda is Krishna Bhajan. So whatever you tell them about your life, this is the sweetness not only of a devotee, but of the process of Krishna Bhajan. Nothing can impact Krishna Bhajan. Give me any example where somebody else can impact your Krishna Bhajan. So anything he or she says cannot impact Krishna Bhajan. This is the sweetness of our relationship with Krishna, that nothing can come in its way. Okay. So our relationship to Krishna, with Krishna, is not dependent on any external factors. It is purely between us and Krishna. And such a person has no other agenda, and therefore is the best, can be the most confidential listener. And last 2 points, very, very few such people may exist in our life. Very few. Even if you have 2 or 3, you should consider yourself lucky. It's not like you have to have 20. And if you find some, answer may be 0 for most. So even if you have 1 or 2, you need to consider yourself extremely lucky like that. And if you find such a person, then don't let go of them. And how to not let go? What should you do? 1 word answer. Yeah, reciprocate, give, serve. Yes, serve by words, by actions, by things, by your love. Give. Okay, so hold them very, very dear to your heart. Be their best friend. So basically the point is, a true friend should have only one agenda: to have the other friends back. And the only other caveat is criminal activity. Other than that, friend should be your other self, like, your alter ego or whatever you say, should be as good as yourself. Now, some more learnings, little bit humorous here. It is okay to lie in some harmless cases. Okay, so Hariparshad Prabhu pointed out this verse from the Shastra, so directly from Srimad Bhagavatam, topmost Shastra. So he's so expert in picking out the right points. So this is, by the way, now Shukracharya. Now he's speaking from the Vedas. So it's not like he's acting like a demon, even though he is the guru of the demons. So it may not be the topmost advice, but it is still Vedic advice, and he is giving to Bali Maharaj. Before Vaman Dev asks for the promise or for the, bhiksha, and he agrees to give, he then does Achman, says, I promise whatever you ask, I will give. Then he's bound by the promise. Before that, Shukracharya is saying, no, this is Vishnu, he will trick you. And then he's giving the advice, it's okay to lie. No, I cannot give. Put your parameters first. Before he asks, who knows what he will ask? Already they have been tricked. They know by Hiranyakashyap, he had put all the parameters in place. Still Vishnu tricked him by taking this amazing form. So he says, we don't know what, this fellow Vishnu, all the kind of things he can do. So don't promise everything. And then he says, it's okay to lie also in some cases. Nothing will happen to you. So he says this very nice verse. But so our understanding is, as long as it is harmless, yes, it is okay to not reveal your heart fully in some cases. Strishu narma vivahecha vritti arthe prana sankate go brahmanarthe himsayam na anritam syaj jugupsitam. So what it means is that strishu. So when you have to, make friendship for a man with a woman, before marriage, you're trying to court. So I can see one couple here. So, or have you ever told before marriage, Chand tare tod ke launga? How many of you said that? Did you say that, Prabhuji? Did you get?
I promise that I'll cook.
So how many of you brought moon and stars? But you said you will. So it's okay. So if you got a good relationship out of that, that's nice. Second is narma. Narma means in a joking way, you can, when you are joking. Vivahe, like to get marriage proposal, like we, the girl is, a boy is coming to see the girl, you get some samosas from outside, but you say, no, the girl has made all these samosas. She's very nice in making samosas. So you say that, right? Even though you have got it from like the halwai. Vritti arthe, for business, in business matters, even the customer also is doing the same thing, he's also haggling. So it's okay, businessman can say prana sankate. So when your life is in danger, you can go brahmanarthe, so to protect the cows and to protect brahmanas or brahmanical culture, or himsayam, or any unnecessary himsa to any living entity. In these cases, na anritam syad jugupsitam. What it means is that anritam means anything false that you say. Jugupsitam means you don't fall down. So you don't fall down in certain cases like this. So yes, these are some practical points. Another point is, it is said that you should keep your bhajan secret, and also your guru's glories secret. This is also in Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is correct. One should not make a show or advertise one's bhajan. I am doing, every day morning, 3 o'clock, I get up, I take bath in cold water. I do. You can mention in confidence to a close friend, but not with the intention of making a show of it. That is one point. So these are the kind of, and there are other topics also. I have selected couple, but there are other things also which one should keep secret. One should not disclose, for example, one's health problems if you have, or any financials, how much money I have. These things one should keep, one should disclose only to a confidant. Another point is one's guru's glories. So advertising, canvassing, my guru is the greatest, or oh, my guru, one time, this happened and that, and, such a miracle, he created this miracle. One should keep all the glories, all of that secret. One should not glorify one. It's okay to mention the name, my guru is so and so and so, but not with the intention of me versus them. My guru is the greatest. Not only my guru, or, oh, ISKCON is the best. Oh, you are not in ISKCON. Oh, okay. Better luck next time. So not like that. Or even like Vaishnavism. Oh, you have not read Bhagavad Gita. Oh, then, what are you reading? Or you're reading this other book? No, no, no. You must first read Bhagavad Gita before you read any other scripture. Like show off or advertise or canvas with that mood. Honest, very genuine in a particular setting when the situation is correct. Genuine sharing is a different matter, but making a show and all that should not be done. So I thought these were nice points that I wanted to hit upon. Okay. Any questions or comments at this point? So we will transition into the next topic, which is bhuṅkte bhojayate. Okay. So what is bhuṅkte bhojayate meaning? Bhunkte means what?
You will eat and you will offer.
So, bhunkte means to accept and to eat or honor, and bhojayate means to offer to others. So bhunkte bhojayate chaiva. And then these are shadvidha priti lakshanam. So food is a very important item or thing that we do. So devotees honor and eat only prasadam. So we say honor prasadam because prasad, we will see a little later, is none different from the Lord himself. So we are honoring the Lord by eating his remnants. So it is called honor. So we should honor prasad with a sense of, the word honor includes the sense of gratitude. When you are honoring someone, you're doing it with a sense of gratitude. So honoring prasadam is the correct mood in which to eat prasadam. Second point, very important, is that we should take care that prasadam should be, what is also prasad is not just that you take any food and it has been offered to the Lord. We will discuss some exceptions also, but best or highest standard is that even before offering it to the Lord, it should also be prepared by Vaishnavas. And automatically Vaishnava means people with pure devotional consciousness. So it's not like you can buy some, okay, it's not meat, it's not onion garlic, but I buy it, some pizza from a vegan store and then I offer to Krishna and then that becomes prasadam. If you have to, we will discuss some exceptions. If you have to do that, definitely offer to Krishna and then only eat. Sure, but that's not the highest standard. Highest standard is that the preparation should also be done by a devotee. And there is Shastric proof for it. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, Lord Chaitanya himself says, Vishaira anna khaile malina haya mana. So Vishaira means, what is Vishaya? Huh? Material consciousness, or with a somebody who has material aspirations, material desires. Vishaya. So in Bhagavad Gita, the word Vishaya has come so many times. Vishaya means any kind of sense gratification or object of sense gratification. Sense objects is what Prabhupada usually translates Vishaya as sense objects. So Vishaira, one who has attachment to such sense objects. Anna khaile, prepared by such a person, Vishaira anna khaile. Malina haya mana. The mind or the heart becomes what? Malina means mal, dirty. Malina mana haile, when your mind becomes dirty, nahe krishnera smarana. So when the mind is contaminated, then Krishna smarana goes out, or to that extent it diminishes, it reduces. So one should make sure that the prasadam, the consciousness of the cook also enters the preparation. So we should try to be as careful about it as possible. Now, in some cases, I also eat outside. So I'm, guilty of not following this 100% of the time. But as much as possible, we should do it. And then we will discuss some more points about how to set our standards and so on. Balancing practicality with the highest standard. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad, TU is just a abbreviation for that. It is said Annam Brahmam iti. So Anna means the Anna which has been offered to the Lord, that is the meaning. So prasadam is the absolute truth in the form of eatables. So there is Shastric evidence for this statement that prasadam is no different than the Lord himself in the form of eatables. The best way to honor prasadam is alone. Yes, in the association of devotees as much as possible. Okay, now of course it is not possible 100% of the time these days, but as much as possible one should honor prasadam in the association of devotees. And another important point is that one should invite devotees and feed them sumptuously feed them with love. Where is that example I had put? Oh, so this point, somehow I messed up in my slides. This point will come later. So we will discuss about feeding sumptuously, how much to feed. So we'll discuss that. But one should not go to a place where there is no love. When the invitation, we say, invite and feed sumptuously with love. That is the principle. But if there is no invitation, one should obviously not go. And if there is no invitation with love, which means there is some other agenda, then also no need to go. Any example comes to mind? One very strong example is there. At least I think everybody should say that example first. Yes, Duryodhan and Krishna. Duryodhan invited Lord Krishna and prepared a big feast and everything. And Lord Krishna said, sorry, I'm here for talks. That's what we will do. We will just have talks. Keep your food in your own pocket. I'm not interested. And he went uninvited because he knew that love was there to Vidur's place. They didn't even know that Lord Krishna is in town. Vidur had gone out. If he would have known Lord Krishna is coming, he would have obviously been at home. If you come home and, I know you are going to come, but I go for a, walk. So why would I do that if I love or you're my good friends? So Vidur was not at home. It means that it was uninvited. He just showed up because he knew that the moment I open the door or they open the door, love will flow. And that is what happened. Vidur's wife fainted first on seeing Krishna. So that much was the love, fainted in ecstasy. And then ended up offering banana peels in her ecstasy. Didn't even know what's going on, So that is the example of love. And then you can go uninvited. And we know close friends, you don't need invitation. Just show up. So invite with love. Now, another point. Now, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, BSST, I have abbreviated as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, has made a statement, never offer food to non-devotees. Okay, so now I'm taking it a little bit, how to understand that. Now I'm taking it out of context. Okay, this is called quoting out of context. But I just want to make a point out of it, a discussion point. So what do you think is how to understand this? If you heard Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura saying, never offer food to non-devotees, how would you make sense of such a statement? Yes, Mataji. Okay, that is understood, let us say. when we say food means prasad, never offer to non-devotees. We should offer, we should do prasadam distribution. That's a big thing we should do. We don't differentiate, right? We don't go check with a thermometer. Are you devotee? Are you not devotee? Okay, you are devotee. Yeah, please take the box. You're non-devotee. Sorry, not qualified. So how to understand this statement?
We don't have that respect what we all know.
So don't give to them.
Who is envious towards Krishna?
So my question, I'm sure you're following the question, how to understand this statement? That is the question. Not how to answer this statement or how to. Anybody online? Okay, yes, Mataji.
Don't even engage with non-devotees, so there will not be a case of offering. It's like, again, the question is there, like.
So don't even engage. If you don't even engage, there will be no even close contact. So you will not even have the chance of giving prasadam. Okay, fine. So again, I put this question here to indicate a theme.
They may disrespect it.
Sorry, yes, Makarand Prabhu?
I'm saying the receiver may disrespect the prasadam.
Exactly. Yeah, so now, for that reason, we should not give. It is said we should give prasadam even to a dog. What to speak of any human being? So how to understand? That was the question. Okay. So, yes, Mansi Ganga Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have come across some of the Christian followers, right, Prabhuji, but not now, but even in my college days, when we give, because we do some offering to the Lord and then give, and they said, we don't take it. Just because of it is something that you did a ritual or any offering to your Lord, then we don't take it. So in that case, like, we should not give or we should not recommend to. And then other Prabhuji was telling, then they may disrespect.
So here again, the point is they may disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they will neglect.
So should that stop us from giving them prasadam?
Yes.
Is it getting very cold? Let me change the. We typically keep cold in the house. Okay, I changed it. It will stop. Yeah. So the way to the question was how to understand this. The correct understanding is offer them prasadam, but do not associate closely. Bhuṅkte bhojayate chaiva is not about just, I have ordered a box of sweets from Amazon to you, my dear devotee friend. So I have fulfilled bhuṅkte bhojayate. That was never the meaning of bhuṅkte bhojayate. Bhuṅkte bhojayate, like we just discussed, is to have that close relationship with devotees. That is the meaning of bhuṅkte bhojayate. And Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura is saying, don't do that with non-devotees. So don't closely associate with them, with materialistic people. So non-devotees doesn't just mean, oh, you don't have tilak on your head. That is not the meaning either. The devotee means, or a converse of a devotee is a materialistic person, materialistically minded person. That is the meaning of non-devotee. Okay, one may be a pure devotee with no tilak. He may be wearing, a half pant and a t-shirt, but he may be a topmost devotee. So it is not by external things that we should identify. But if you know somebody is a materialistic person, don't associate closely with them. And bhuṅkte bhojayate means to have close association and offer and receive closely. Okay, so that should be avoided, because again, same thing, like we discussed, confidential sharing and receiving, it increases the closeness. You don't want that with materialistic people. In the same way, sitting and sharing food and having a lot of discussions increases the closeness. That is to be avoided. So there is a general theme, general principle here. Okay. And the main point is to protect your own bhakti. So that is something to be kept in mind. Some more practical points. So first one is, host should not eat till the guest has fully eaten. That is the highest standard, till he has finished eating. But sometimes, with close friends, they will not also eat fully and let you just watch. So you should at least have them eat the first bite. And then you eat. So and the host also, there should not be any kind of rough game. So, if you are the guest, be happy to eat the first bite, but then make sure they also eat the second one. The second one is theirs. So that is general, etiquette. Okay, now how much to eat? How much to feed? Sorry, not eat. How much to feed? What is that? What is the answer to that? Sumptuously. Any yardstick, if I have to measure with a tape, literally you can measure with a tape. That's the hint.
How much is ideal according to the age?
They might say no very soon. If he is a very, kind of a cultured or whatever, Vedic cultured, he'll say no only when his stomach is half full.
Until they cannot get up.
Mataji knows. She's a Pakka Vaishnava.
She knows your story.
My story. That was out of my own pocket. So the answer is up to the neck. Yeah, if you feed them up to the neck, they will not be able to get up. Okay, till you feed them till the next bite. If you feed them, then they will spit it out. Till that point, you have to feed. This is for the host, by the way. There will be an item for the guest also. But there is Shastrik Praman for this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did this. None other than Lord Krishna did this. Okay. So Tabe Mahaprabhu Vaishe Nija Gana Lana Bhojan Karila Sabke Akantha Puriya. Akantha Puriya. That means that till the neck, Mahaprabhu was feeding them. Till they were full till their necks. So like that, he was feeding them. But on the guest side, you should eat in moderation. Okay. And also, even if you are hungry or whatever, you should eat a little bit less than your capacity. But with a very close friend, no problem. You can eat to the neck. Another very important point on a serious note, to the the discussion that we had about Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, that when he said don't, and there was a context that was taken out of context purposely to have a discussion. So the proof that we should give prasadam to anyone and everyone is also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Distribute prasadam freely to one and all. No distinctions, no qualification needed, no anything. Even if they may throw it away. Once you give, you don't look what they did. You give prasadam with a pure consciousness that you are giving them Krishna Prasad. You are giving them Krishna. Whether they accept or not, or it goes in the trash, is not a problem. It is literally not a problem. Because even if you throw it in the trash, the insects, the germs, they will eat it. So there is absolutely no problem. You should not intentionally throw it and disrespect it. But you should not worry that if I give and what happens if they throw. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, or in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Prabhura Agyaya Govinda Dina Hina Jane. So after this whole Leela, this is just 2 verses after that one. This is when the in Jagannath Puri, when devotees did mega kirtan. So then after that, after kirtan, what happens? Prasadam. We also do it in our temple and everyone. First we do kirtan, then we are hungry, then we have prasadam. And so this was when Mahaprabhu had fed all the devotees. Then he told his servant Govinda, Prabhura Agyaya, upon his instruction, Govinda Dina Hina Jane. So all the people, Dina Hina, the people who were outside, they were, poor people. Dukhi Kangal Ani. Dukhi Kangal, the poor people, the, beggars, everybody, Karaya Bhojane. He went and distributed prasadam to all of them. So there is no distinction, there is no qualification, eligibility, nothing for prasadam distribution. Now, so very, very important point, balancing strictness with practicality. Okay, so practicality is important, and too much strictness. Now, strictness out of one's internal conviction or out of one's internal strength, spiritual or devotional strength, is perfectly fine, but not as a self-imposition. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, very happily he would do very strict level of chaturmasya. In the 4 months of the rainy season, for example, I was surprised. I only thought, so there are certain rules that you have to observe during the 4 months of the rainy season. In 1 month, you are not supposed to eat milk products. Okay, one can imagine. I can, if push comes to shove, I can do that. In 1 month, you are not supposed to eat some kind of leafy vegetables. I can do that. Or leafy things. Yeah, good for me. I don't like spinach and other green leaves, all the good things. What are the other things, Mataji, Urad dal and yogurt. So these things are to be avoided. Now there is a higher standard of Chaturmas that you should first of all eat only once, and that too as much as fits in one mouthful. One mouthful. So whatever you can fit in one mouthful, that's it. Now that's a higher standard. And there is even higher standard. It's not like you just fill it in your mouth. With your mouth, you bend down and just eat from the plate as much as your mouth can grab. So it's not like from the hands you can just stuff your mouth and you're like, your cheeks are about to burst. That is also not allowed. So he would follow that, but he would follow it and out of his spiritual strength. Now somebody can make a show of it and do it sometime, but it will lead to niyamagraha. Niyamagraha we discussed. That one is niyamagraha means that niyama agraha and niyama agraha means either completely neglecting the rules. So that is easy to understand. Not easy to rectify, but at least we understand completely neglecting. One is, the other meaning is too much following of rules. I recently, came to know one, family got broken because one member of the family was too much strict and not caring for the other family member, the other, spouse. So it is the responsibility to go in the same, to make sure that, you don't elevate your standards so much. You have taken on a grihastha life that you, if the spouse is not going that much, then you that's also a responsibility that you have taken, and the family got broken. So that's not good either. So one should be very careful and one should balance the strictness with practicality. Even Srila Prabhupada, his own guru, would follow that Chaturmasya, but I have not heard Srila Prabhupada following that level, right? So is it mean that Srila Prabhupada is any less than Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj? Not at all. He did much, I would say, bigger wonders. I mean, not to belittle Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, but Srila Prabhupada is like in his own right as a giant as Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So it doesn't mean that one should. And there is a story also on an aeroplane. They were offering 7-Up. So he honored 7-Up. He offered it to the Lord mentally, and he, it took 7-Up. From that day, 7-Up became legal for all the devotees. So there's a nice story. There's this whole thing is mentioned in Prabhupada Lilamrita, how he had 7-Up in the aeroplane. So who knows who made the 7-Up? So, practicality is very important. And it depends on one's level of tolerance and one's faith or standards that one has set for oneself. Okay, so you must put your standard, one should put one's standard at the same level as one's bhakti is progressing. In all other areas of our bhakti, we know we are so lax and so, cutting corners. But in these matters, and especially when you go to someone's house, oh, no, this is Chatur, I will not eat yogurt, I'm sorry. Oh, you're doing Chaturmas, you don't eat yogurt? Oh, wow, very nice, very nice. So that for that appreciation, for that recognition, definitely one should not do, or even to impress upon the spouse, see, I'm such a big devotee. Someday you will become like me, maybe next life. So that mentality is what is wrong for any kind of sense gratification. So whatever one should do according to one's genuine level of spiritual progress. And it should be like consistent in all the areas of bhakti, not just in the terms of, oh, I will do Chaturmas, but not reading Bhagavatam, not doing your japa, not doing seva of Vaishnava seva, serving the devotees. All your meaning of bhakti is very strict, one aspect. So that all is, there is it's a red flag. Some kind of introspection is needed. So again, there's a verse on this. I have not quoted it. Hariparshad Prabhu quotes this. 4 situations when it may be okay to relax the rules, depending on one's standards. Okay, so that's very important. But Shastra says that there are situations when it's okay to relax the standards. And there are 4 standards: when the country is invaded, when traveling out of town. This is a maybe, country invaded, maybe, applies to Ukraine or somebody, but traveling out of town applies to many, many people. And when sick, that's another important one. So these 2 are very important, or very, so, and in other cases of emergency, apatakal is what is there in the verse. Apatkal, how do you define? You define. So Shastra gives the room for you to define what is emergency. But the very next verse says, as soon as this is gone, you should come back also. Even after you come back to town, to home, the rules of being out of home, you shouldn't continue. You should come back to your standard. So emergency once applied, say, okay, now that's what politicians do, like Indira Gandhi, emergency, and then, okay, permanent emergency now. All rules are suspended. Then it's, autocracy. So that should not be the case. So traveling out of town and sick is very, very common questions. For example, for me, I will share that when we go out of town, or especially for me, when I go out of town, I do my absolute level best to find a vegan restaurant. A place where in the kitchen, there is no meat, no nothing has been cooked. And I take from there, and obviously avoid onion, garlic and all. First thing is to find a devotee place and all that, if all that fails. And finally, yes, I have eaten at a Subway also, but only, just the bread with some veggies. I mean, I, for example, my body doesn't, my physiology, I just cannot remain hungry. I get very, I get like nausea also. So, okay. Ask forgiveness from Krishna and have it if no other option is available. So one can select. One time, I will not take the name. And I got this, idea from very, very senior person whom I respect a lot. He's a second generation devotee, but one of the most respected devotees, second generation devotees from many years, from almost 20 years within ISKCON. He visited Portland almost 15 years ago also. And he said that, sometimes I have to eat in a, he works, has a job, and as a job, he has to go to a restaurant to eat. And they may not select the, Govinda's restaurant for, having a company dinner or something. But I go, then I eat some salad or some fruits over there. Well, okay, the kitchen at least same, who knows what knife has been used to cut the fruits or the salad. Okay. Take Krishna's name and go and eat. And he says, many people appreciate that. So that's something that I'm giving by example, he says. By example, I'm giving that, okay, I have my rules, I have my, boundaries, and I'm honoring those. People appreciate that. So the point is, Shastra is meant to guide and liberate sincere devotees, not put one into guilt. That's not, so one should understand Shastra's purpose is not to punish you, beat you, make you feel guilty, but to guide you and liberate you. So, but at the same time, one should not take advantage of these relaxations for sense gratification. So that should be the norm. Okay. Any other points? So that is on bhuṅkte bhojayate. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Yeah, I want to share like Srila Prabhupada pastime about how we see the higher purpose. One time he went to a family who have invited him over. He went with all his disciples, and they were very excited to host Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada started honoring the disciple next to him, started saying, "There's onion in it," and Srila Prabhupada, like he's just he was started like very nice. He was keep telling the host, "It's delicious. Thank you for everything." And he was kept saying, the disciple kept saying, "Srila Prabhupada, there is onion in it," like 4 or 5 times. But so it's not like we have to follow that, because Srila Prabhupada purity is so in a very different platform. But he relaxed his the rules and regulation for the higher purpose, because he didn't want to offend, because they were so happy to have him. So he saw that and he relaxed. So
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So I don't know if you all got it on the Zoom. Was it audible on the Zoom?
No.
So yeah, I have also heard this pastime many times. So Srila Prabhupada one time was invited by a family, very nicely invited, with lot of love, with lot of feeling they invited. But the devotees, actually, the other thing I heard, they forgot to tell the family that don't put onion or garlic in the food. So they prepared with onion. And so when Srila Prabhupada went, he honored it. The devotees were trying to, tell Srila Prabhupada, oh, there is onion in it, or this or that. He said that, or later on he said, after coming out, first of all, he ate it. Even though there was onion, he probably kept it on the side, but he didn't reject the meal at all. He honored the meal. And later on, he said, they invited with love. It was our mistake, and we shouldn't make them feel bad. They have invited with so much love. They would be very, sad, not, offended, but sad that such a, sadhu has come to the house and he left without eating. So he gave them the benefit of that happiness. And later on, and in the devotees wrote that he was never a stickler. Stickler means not like, make a big deal out of a issue or out of a topic. So, there is a higher purpose. They have invited with love. Leave them with a wonderful, feeling, rather than sort of destroy the whole mood for one little thing. So he was never a stickler. Any other points or comments? Yes, Mataji.
No question, Prabhuji, regarding the previous one, like we shouldn't share a bhajan you mentioned, right? So
Not share, just want to make sure the question or the language we use is very precise. We shouldn't show off. Okay, go ahead. What was your question?
sometimes we like share our realizations and all, right? So
Yes.
just wondering if we shouldn't share. Okay, show off. Okay.
Advertise, make show. That is the point. Genuinely, among the looking at the audience, you are sharing it for their benefit or for your benefit. Maybe, am I doing it right? If there is a somebody you are looking your guidance or getting some advice, whatever, if that is sharing. So sharing is not the precise word. It is about advertise, make show, or any other kind of sense gratification. For that, we should not. Even same thing for a guru also. Don't have to do it for the sake of mine is better than yours, kind of a mood or mentality. But yes, we can share pastimes of the guru or anything like that, but with a proper, very, very humble, genuine mood, with no even tinge of the fact that, mine is better than yours or any such thing where you will feel that anybody in the audience may take it incorrectly. Now, that's a very, very subjective thing. You never know. So better to not do that if you don't know. Always err on the side of caution. Prabhuji, anything you would like to add to the topic or any topics? Something. We are at the end of the time. So I don't think I will start the 5th verse today. We will start it next time. If I start, it will be at least 20 more minutes to even make the point. But then I don't want to do that. What's there on the chat? Let me see. How about not eating food at other places due to the presence of onion and garlic? Oh, I got my question answered. Okay. Yeah, great. Maybe that's why there are no questions, because all questions are answered. Okay. Anything, Prabhuji? Kuch bhi?
No, it's establishing the discussion. Very practical.
Yeah, Nectar of Instruction is very stark contrast to Śrī Upadeśāmṛtam, which we just finished. Full of, it's just practical, nothing else. It's all packed with practicality.
I think the one line I think of that captures this particular verse is Srila Prabhupada used to say, where there's love and trust, there is give and take. All 6 aspects are demonstrated.
I don't know if you all got on Zoom, but Jai Satchidanand Prabhu is saying that Srila Prabhupada used to summarize this verse as, where there is love and trust, there is give and take. Very natural, and no doubt or no surprises, Srila Prabhupada said that. So where there is love and trust, there is give and take. And you may not be able to give and take if you are miles apart, but you give and take among the 3 things, dadati, pratigrahanati, bhuṅkte, bhojayate may not be possible. Guhyam, akhyati, prcchati is still possible. Thanks to Graham Bell, thanks to whatever Zooms and Googles or whatever of the world with technology, or good old, letters. Even Mother Rukmini sent a letter to Lord Krishna, very confidential letter. So even then, even though they were miles apart, she wrote a whole game plan of how Lord Krishna should come. Every aspect she told very confidentially. This temple, I will be there at this time. You should come like this, and then take me away. Okay. All right. If nothing else, then we will conclude here. Okay. Any last minute points? All right. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you all. So next week is Sadhu Sangha in, America. There's a big event in Texas. Many devotees may be traveling, but we will still have the class. I am not traveling, but anyway, for the benefit of those who are not and to make progress. So far, we are doing 2 classes per verse. So I want to speed up a little bit now. And we will continue the discussion. Those who miss, no problem. You can catch up on the recording. But we will have class next weekend, even though there is Sadhu Sangha event. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.